Hello, hello, hello. Publicly rich, privately poor, fix number 5, my baby. Financial experts.
Firm of figures knows your money, cuts down on strife. Time to trust your future. Firm of figures, love your life.
The Firmer Figures Business Show is brought to you by Financial Gym Studios. Welcome to the only gym where someone else does the working out for you, where you get impartial tips and strategies in plain English to help you understand your money, love your business, and trust your future. Introducing your host, author, speaker, and creator of Firmer Figures, the cantankerous coach, Georgette Roland Osborne.
The same person who has money pressures in their personal life can find that they don't have them in their business or work life. Why? Well, first of all, because the majority of successful entrepreneurs, even those that profess to be bad with figures or bad with numbers, will hire or work with people who have the expertise that they lack or need. They will always have a financial posse that they can call on, and this posse will include one or more experts such as a bookkeeper, an accountant, a financial advisor, a lawyer, insurance broker. Some have, if you're in property, you might have a surveyor on tap. In addition, they may also have a life coach, you could have a business coach, mentor, be part of a mastermind group, have an accountability partner. What I'm saying is, even if they're bad with money, they're not doing it alone. They're constantly surrounded by people who will either spot problems or they can turn to, if you've been part of a group where you have the same interests, somebody has come up with an answer to something or an answer to a problem that they had that you're like, one, you didn't even know that was a problem. Thank God I heard about that before I went down that route. Successful entrepreneurs will always experience that. Privately, not so much. Even if you listened to or watched each part of the MIISER, MIISER rules up until now, I bet there's still huge gaps in your knowledge. Of course there are. You can't listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video or go on someone's site for 15-20 minutes and come out and know exactly what you're going to do. So of course there are gaps, but if you have a better understanding of pensions or ISAs, different types of mortgages, do you know what the best deals are? Yes, you will have some idea now, but only to a degree. There are comparison sites that can do some of the trawling for you, but there comes a time when not everything can be reduced to what I call compare, click, check out. Some decisions just require more expertise, and more expertise than most of us have, despite our research, despite the information and the intelligence that we put on this information. There is a reason accountants, stockbrokers and financial advisors take so long to qualify for their qualifications, to be eligible to do the business that they're in. If it was so easy to do what they do, they would go and learn to be accountants from reading the Financial Times. Clearly it isn't. So don't beat yourself up if you don't have that knowledge. And it's this lack of knowledge why people, as I keep saying, don't go any further. And then 10 years go by and their finances are either crap or they've got nothing to show for all their hard work because they just didn't know where to go, other than the basics of paying bills and maybe opening your savings account. And it's because as well, there are underlying tools, techniques, systems, knowledge, experience that comes with having to be constantly exposed to an environment. There is no reason for you to go to a networking event full of accountants and bookkeepers and financial advisors, but I would. So just by default, I'm naturally going to have or be more armed with the information that's necessary. In the same way, you are not going to go to a convention of golf players if you don't play golf. When you're out of the loop in that way, but you require the information, you need to go ask for help. I mean, take wills, for example. When I say wills, as in last will and testament. You can walk into Staples right now, any stationery shop, or you can go online and all you could do is fill in some boxes, and that's your will done. But let's take the person who's divorced or is about to get married again. They've got children from a previous marriage. They're maybe going to be a step parent to children from the person they're going to be married to. And let's throw in a property just for a laugh. Do you think that person's going to be able to go online and do a really adequate will, or get the one from Staples and fill it in? Not really. Now, this is not just about buying off-the-shelf solutions. Unless this person is, okay, maybe it's their third marriage. So yeah, okay, maybe they can go into Staples because it's just a case of copy and paste. But as a rule, they're going to need to get proper advice. Another instance, and it happened to my sister. Imagine a young man in his early 20s who signed up for a savings plan. And what he doesn't realise is that a big percentage of that plan is going to go towards life cover. Now, why would someone in their early 20s need, with no assets, living at home probably, or maybe just renting their first place, and has no dependents, why would they need a substantial percentage of their life savings to go towards life cover? It doesn't make sense, because there's nobody who's going to benefit from it. His parents don't want it. They're all right. Yeah, let's just say, yes, we need to read terms and conditions more closely, and we need to understand what we're reading. But that also is where financial experts come into their own, because what they do is interpret the terms and conditions of these products and services. In business, expert advice can often be an ongoing thing, because fluctuations in the activity of business and also taxation and compliance is ever changing. So you need that ongoing advice so you can keep up with it. But in the private world, not so much. I mean, once you set something up, you can pretty much set it and forget it. And all you need really is to review from time to time. And a lot of that review you can do yourself. And some reviews, yeah, you then have to go back to your financial advisor, and because what you're really doing is seeing whether there's a better deal, whether what you're doing now, even if it's working, if maybe you can do it better. I've moved my pension 3 or 4 times in the last, not few years, over quite a number of years in fairness, but I moved it. People never did that before. You signed up somewhere and you just sent your money every month, and that was the end of it. But I moved it because experts I know had sufficient financial intelligence, coming across enough of these deals because they're in that world, and could see that I wasn't getting a good deal. And when we compared the figures, it just made sense. So that's that really for financial experts. I love to sit here and blow my own trumpet about getting an expert in, but really I also think that becomes more important once you've gone through the stages of doing your own research and understanding for yourself, because then you realize where your gaps are and you think, well, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm serious about doing that. I need to go talk to somebody now. In my business, so often when people finally do come and speak to me, they've really hit crisis. They've known all along what was on offer. They've known all along what they could have had, but it wasn't important enough. And I don't beat people up for that. It's one of the reasons why I deal with established businesses, because they've hit an amount of pain that they're easy to work with because they just want to get out of that pain. So where is your pain right now that you need to get out of? And that expert could help you. If you're not there yet, fine. But if you are, don't hesitate to go looking. So your action plan for this particular rule is, if you've been holding off making a financial decision, because I bet you have, it could be the first step is to seek out an expert or experts who can help you just get some clarity. Accountants, for example, in the accounting world, happily give you a free consultation. Financial advisors, because of the different structures and pricing of how financial services work now, it's not as easy for them to do it, in fairness, and for you to take advantage of that. But it doesn't mean that you can't. They're there to help as well. And a little disclaimer, not all experts are created equal. So don't feel obligated to go with or even to take the advice of the first person or expert that you come across. Gut instinct does carry a lot of weight, but don't let the gut instinct override an expert's expertise. But you have to work alongside that person or that firm or that company, even if it's online. There may be something about an online service that just fits you, whereas another one doesn't. An example of accounting, some people swear by Xero. It's the most wonderful thing they've ever used, and other people can't stand it. QuickBooks, and some people will never leave Sage. I know people that have actually taken advice and done things because they've been too afraid to say, I don't think that's right for me. Never be afraid to speak up. You, again, are the customer. So remember, it's your money. And with the groundwork that you've done with regards to the first 4 parts of MIISER, so we know your motivation, we know what information that you need, or you've gone looking for the information that you need. You've put a bit of intelligence behind it. You've quantified it. If I take this information and do something with it, how much better off will I be? You've looked at the systems, and are the systems falling down, or do you have any systems at all? When you have those things in place and you sit in front of an expert, it changes the game. Because a lot of us in my profession, in any professions, be it financial services, legal, business services per se, we can be a little bit full of ourselves and believe that the person in front of us doesn't have a clue. It is so much easier when you're having a conversation with someone who's not trying to be an expert but understands what they want to get out of the meeting or the conversation. One, you'll be armed with enough information to hold your own in any conversation. That alone will give you confidence to make any further decisions. Secondly, you'll understand what you're being told. You might not know the detail of something, but you'll know whether it's right. You'll know whether it's correct. And you'll be better informed then to decide if the expert or the expertise that you are getting fits in with your plans and will really serve you. Thank you again for being here. If you liked what you heard, please do share, send it to a friend you think can benefit. Don't forget to subscribe, like it if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube. And don't forget to get the checklist. financialgymforbusiness.com/P for Papa, B for Bravo, C for Cat. See you next time. Bye-bye.
This episode or any resources mentioned is not a substitute for obtaining proper financial and/or legal advice from a qualified professional who is familiar with your particular situation. Also be aware that the information contained may not be suitable for every person or organization.
Knows your money, cuts down on strife. Time to trust your future. Firmer figures, love your life.